What is going on, everyone? We know that this is a short week for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's such a short week that Doug Pederson elected to crumble up the tape and throw it in the trash can. That is right. He doesn't even want to take a look at it. He doesn't want to show the players any of it. And to an extent, I understand where he's coming from because, hey, listen, you're hopping on a plane and you're going to Green Bay and you have to put the Lions game behind you. You do. But there are still teaching moments in that game that I feel are very valuable to this team. So I feel like maybe crumbling it up completely and throwing it away isn't the greatest idea in the world. But if you want to transition this team's mindset, you have to do it. It's tough. There are too many learning moments in that game. Specifically, the fumbling, putting the ball on the ground, missing all the passes. Yeah, you can learn from that. You can argue that, well, these guys are professional players. Don't you think they know that already? Do they really need to see it again? Don't they know? Fair. But how about the fact that Jim Schwartz to the media today actually had to break down why there were only 10 players on the field for one of the Lions' big plays? Come on now. You're telling me the team can't look at that play on film? I don't know. I'm pissed. I'm pissed thinking about the Eagles. But I'm not pissed thinking about being someone who can give you free money. That is right. Use the promo code BROADS for $20 off of your SeatGeeks purchase. This is going to be interesting. McLean stated that Alshon Jeffery wouldn't commit to playing on Thursday. Doug Pederson said that he believes you will see Alshon Jeffery and Dallas Goedert. You will not see Deshaun Jackson. Even if Alshon goes, I'm not expecting much out of him, especially now that I see that he wouldn't commit to some of the beat reporters. So that tells me there's still a calf injury problem, and obviously we knew that anyway, but maybe it's a little bit more serious than we expected it to be. So many hot topics around this team right now, and one specifically is the Jordan Howard discussion. Now listen, there has to be a reason why this guy is just not playing. One of those, I believe, is because it comes down to he's not versatile enough. You saw him drop a pass in the game. He can't catch, and this is something I stated when we got him originally. He is so one-dimensional. All he does is run. Now, he has some successful runs where I think he will be very valuable to this team. But, and I'm trying to look at this from their eyes. Like, I'm trying to sit here and process this as someone who's on the Eagles coaching staff on why Jordan Howard is not getting more touches. And it comes down to the versatility. Miles Sanders can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run routes. Same with Darren Sproles. They can catch the ball. They can make plays happen. You are much more of a threat to the opposing team when you have that. When Jordan Howard's in the game, you know, as a defense, you know that he's not going to catch the ball. He's going to run. And that's where I think the Eagles are struggling when trying to implement Jordan Howard. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I think that we need to find a way to use Jordan Howard more. You can't just shut him down because he can't catch. You can still use him. You saw him get shoulder down and running for a first down. Like, you've seen him compete. He can get you yards. But it doesn't make sense. Like, if this guy was as solid as we expect him to be, and as much as we think he's this piece that's not being used enough, there's got to be a reason why. Like, there just has to be. These coaches watch him practice every day. Is there something that we're missing? Because it doesn't make sense. And speaking of Doug Pederson, you know, he's got to be better. Him and Mike Groh. You had the coordinator speak to the media today. Mike Groh praising the offense. He believes in this offense. All right. I can't stand Mike Groh. I mean, what has he done? What has he done? I see no creativity. You can argue that Doug Pederson's involved in that because he's the one who makes the offense go. Sure. But I don't think Mike Groh helps whatsoever. And Doug Pederson needs help. That's reality. I've been stating it forever. He's a great leader of men. He's not the smartest X's and O's football guy. He needs help from his coordinator. That doesn't mean Doug isn't a good head coach, because he has attributes that are fantastic that not every coach in this league has in terms of keeping everyone on the same page and keeping everyone fighting. But he needs help, and Mike Groh has to help him do that. Carson needs to be better. The receivers need to be better. How about that Nelson Aguilar video, though? You have the man on the news saving babies from a fire. And he says that, that there were people dropping babies out of the windows and he was catching them. Unlike Nelson Aguilar. And then he looks back at the camera with this look on his face. Oh, I thought that was hilarious. Now, Nelson Aguilar actually retweeted it, saying, hey, man, I'll give you tickets to you and your family for the next home game. So Nelson Aguilar just goes the straight professional route. I thought the video was hysterical. I mean, this man is saving babies from a building that's on fire. And he slips in there that he's catching these babies out of the window. Unlike Nelson Aguilar. Oh, that's fantastic. Ronald Darby is going to be out for some time. That's one of the things Jim Schwartz told this fan base. And listen, we got 3 corners at the moment right now. We've all seen Ronald Darby get abused. We got attacked. Aaron Rodgers probably would have shredded him to pieces as well. I never wish injury upon anybody. Absolutely not. But this might be a blessing in disguise. Who knows? Who knows? Sidney Jones might get some more reps. And listen, Sidney Jones, whether he's serviceable or not, we were informed that he was a first-round talent that we stole in the second round. That's not the case. Is he serviceable? Maybe. Maybe he leans towards that. But he's not what we were promised, okay? He's just not. We'll see. I mean, if he's getting more time, only time will tell if he starts getting abused, if he starts getting picked on, if receivers go to his side all the time and end up getting damaged. We'll see how Sidney Jones does, or any of these corners, because now we got a hole in the cornerback position. But you can argue that Ronald Darby himself playing, that was a hole. A lot of people are disappointed with Jim Schwartz, and I despised him over the last couple of years. And this year, I'm actually not despising him as much as I did. Everyone wants the corners to play up and play press coverage. There's a reason why they're not. They're not good enough. So you're just screaming you want the opposite. For example, we've been screaming for the blitz, right? He's finally blitzing. The blitz is getting torched. I mean, what do you want the guy to do? Right now, you got to take a look at this defense and say, it's just not good enough. Good enough. Yet, while I say that, they're still holding this team in games. So you got to realize, like, they're not good enough, yet they're holding us in the games. We turn the football over a couple times. We hold them to 6 total points, a couple field goals. Like, that's holding your team in it, and that's with having bad corners, and that's with having no pass rush whatsoever. And then I take a look at Fletcher Cox and say, what is going on? Is he getting to that point in his career where he's getting double teamed and he's super, super fatigued, where no one else is by him to help? I mean, you got Hassan Ridgeway as your second defensive tackle. It's not going to fly. Brandon Graham, what's the deal with him? He was never a sack guy, but Brandon Graham, I didn't like the signing when we brought him back. I don't know. It seemed like an emotional call there to bring him back. No pass rush whatsoever. It's embarrassing. It is. Yet, the defense has been holding the offense in at times. Now let's touch on Carson. I know I'm all over the place, but so is this team. Carson Wentz, you hear this, he's got to find a way. He has to put the team on his back. If he's getting paid like a franchise quarterback, he needs to make a play late. He did make the play late. He made the play late against Atlanta, and he made the throw late to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He made the play. That doesn't mean he's not allowed to be criticized. You can criticize Carson Wentz, all right? I'm a Carson Wentz believer. I think that there are other reasons why this team has failed over the last couple weeks other than Carson Wentz. Does he miss some looks through his progressions? Yes. Does he hold on to the football long a couple of times? Yes. So does every NFL quarterback. You can look at him and criticize him in certain areas. But the narrative of he needs to make the play late because he gets paid to, and that's what quarterbacks do in this league. Okay, he did. We would be looking at this. If Nelson Aguilar, I'm just saying, and I hate hypotheticals and I hate ifs, but I'm just going to say, if Nelson Aguilar made that play and he scored a touchdown and we came back and win, we'd say, wow, Carson Wentz, he delivered. He delivered. Not only did he score the touchdown to take the lead, we allowed the lead to get lost on a blitz call where Julio Jones takes it to the house, and he responded right back with the touchdown. Wow, Carson Wentz has it. That's if Nelson Aguilar caught the ball. All you had to do was catch the ball and run it in. And if J.J. Arcega-Whiteside the following week catches the ball and falls into the end zone, with the same throws, the narrative changes. Wow, this guy can get it done late. So it's because his teammates failed, we now look at Carson Wentz and say he failed. I'm okay with criticizing Carson when he deserves to be criticized. And there were times when he deserved to get criticized in the last game and in the last couple weeks, yes. But those moments, no. And you can argue that Doug Pederson didn't help him out either. Because for these play calls, you're at the 50 after the penalty from Malcolm Jenkins. Get yourself in field goal territory. Did we have the right plays for that? We had drops. Matt Collins had a big drop. We had the offensive pass interference from Darren Sproles. You have the drop from JJ. Maybe we did have the right plays. But it's hard to believe that we couldn't get 10, 15 yards to get into field goal territory. And we're the best plays to do that. There's a lot to go around. In this video I mentioned a lot of times, well, you can argue, right? I've said that a couple times. That's where this team is right now. It's all discombobulated. It's all over the place. And guess what? We got a game in Green Bay. A couple days here. So we'll see how this team responds. Backs against the wall. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.